We bet you didn't know that Bonnie from Toy Story and Riley from Inside Out are part of the same family. But it's true, and we're gonna show you everything right now. Are you ready to find out how the Pixar movies all take place in the same universe? The hair clip. Have you ever noticed that Riley from Inside Out, Bonnie from Toy Story, and May from Turning Red all wear the same style of hair clip? That's not a coincidence. In fact, it's just one small detail that shows how the Pixar movies all take place in the same universe. And we're almost certain that it's the same hair clip that has been passed down from generation to generation in the girls' family. What's wrong, don't believe us? Then get ready to see the evidence. These three girls pin their hair back in the same way and with the same type of clip because they all came from the same collection of hair accessories. It's almost as if one of them were copying the other's style. They even placed the accessory on the same side of their heads. And you might be wondering, Bonnie's hair clip is different. But you can forget about that argument because only the color changes. The Easter egg is still the same. These hair clips are actually one piece that connects the movies because they were inherited by the girls from another character. Want to find out who we're talking about? Today's video is incredible. You know what's starting. It's another awesome Cinewave! Ellie. Our theory, which fits perfectly into the Pixar universe, says that Ellie Fredrickson, Carl's wife from the movie Up, was actually the original owner of the collection of hair clips that now belongs to Riley, Bonnie, and May. And that makes perfect sense because when Ellie died, her belongings must have been sent to people who were close to the Fredrickson family. That's why the girls wear the same style. Now, we already know what you're going to ask. How exactly would Ellie and Carl be close to these three families? It's pretty simple to explain. All the Pixar movies take place in the same universe, and what happens in one movie affects another. Like when we discovered that Carl lived next door to a girl who used to own Lotso. He appears in her bedroom while Carl is leaving. Or when we look at Ellie Fredrickson and see that she holds her hair back with a pink headband or scarf, considering that the loose strand of her hair is exactly the part that the girls need to pin back. Of course, she gave the hair clips to the girls, and that's why that part of her hair is always loose. Sisters. Have you ever noticed that Riley's mom and Bonnie's mom are practically the same person? Their hair is the same style and color, they both wear glasses, and they're even the same height. You could almost say they're sisters. This is a very interesting part of our story because we believe they are sisters who grew up together. That's why they have the same style and give their daughters similar hairstyles. And you might think that Riley and Bonnie don't look alike, but you should know that it's only because the two girls have different fathers. Their mothers definitely came from the same family. Still have doubts? Then explain to us why they have the same last name. The main character from Inside Out is named Riley Anderson, and the new owner of the Toy Story toys is named Bonnie Anderson. They're practically the same name. And no, having just one different letter is not an argument because, as we've already proven, the two women are identical. Postcard. In Toy Story 3, which is also the movie where Bonnie appears for the first time, we discovered one of Pixar's tricks to fool us. They showed a postcard that Ellie and Carl Fredrickson sent to Andy, but that scene was cut from the official version released in theaters. Look at how sneaky they are, thinking they fooled us. In the movie's trailer, there's a moment when Woody is climbing up Andy's dresser, and you can see a postcard sent by Ellie and Carl, but in the version released in theaters, they hid it. Of course they tried to fool us and pretend that nothing happened, but we know exactly what you're planning, Pixar. Ellie and Carl are related to Andy's mom, and Andy, in turn, is close to Bonnie's family, and Bonnie is Riley's cousin. Wait, are you confused? We're going to show you how this is all true. Would you like to receive a letter from a Disney character? Comment with the hashtag Pixar so we can get to know you. Mother. Have you ever noticed how much Riley looks like Andy's mom? They aren't just two blonde, blue-eyed girls. Even their hair looks the same, with the strands swept to the side and everything. For a long time, some people thought that Emily, Jesse's former owner, was Andy's mom, but the timeline doesn't add up because that happened many years earlier. Now, some people think Riley is Andy's mom, which could be true. The two of them look incredibly similar, and you know Pixar loves placing these Easter eggs in its movies. But there's one problem. Riley is completely obsessed with ice hockey, while Andy's mom has never shown any interest in it. What makes more sense is to believe that the two of them are also related, since both movies take place around similar time periods. Cousins. Our theory is that they are all actually distant cousins, and everything fits together perfectly. Let's take a look at the cowboy hat Andy wears when he plays with his toys. It's red and has white stitching around the edges. That's interesting when you consider that Woody's hat doesn't look like that. The cowboy wears a brown hat with stitching in the same color. Apparently, Andy's hat is a larger version of Jesse's hat. Don't you agree? In other words, it's an item of clothing made for girls. Now, would it be crazy to think that Andy's mom gave her childhood hat to her son? But she didn't have a Jessie doll. She had a Woody doll. She probably had a friend she used to play with when she was a child, right? Maybe a blonde, blue-eyed girl named Jessie, who we discovered is Emily's daughter in Toy Story 5. If we do the math, Mrs. Davis, who is Andy's mom, mom, is the right age to be Jessie, Emily's daughter, or one of her friends. Now, if you take a close look at Emily's daughter, you'll notice that she doesn't just look like Mrs. Davis, she also looks exactly like Riley Anderson from Inside Out. This is where the theories cross paths. Andy's mom could easily be Emily's daughter, who was named Jessie after her mother's old doll. When she was a child, she must have been Woody's first owner because, in Toy Story 1, we're told that the cowboy has always been in that house. She was the one who gave the girl's hat to her son, and Riley is probably a distant relative of Andy's. All of them are close friends of Ellie and Carl Fredricksen, which is why they sent that postcard Pixar tried to hide. Magic. You thought we were going to forget about Mei Lee from turning red in this theory, didn't you? Don't worry, because there's definitely room for her too. You know very well that in the world of Toy Story, the toys are alive because children love them. That's how Forky was born, and all the other toys probably work the same way. Now, in Mei Lee's world, her family has a curse that causes the women to transform into red pandas. And if they don't learn how to control it, they can become trapped in their animal form forever. It's interesting to think about that because there's another Pixar movie where the same thing happens. Remember Merida, that other Disney Pixar princess who transformed her mother into a bear? Their story has everything to do with our theory. Magic exists in the Pixar universe. It's the reason the toys are alive, and it's also the reason Mei Lee transforms into an animal, the witch. In Merida's movie, there's a wooden carving with an image of Sully from Monsters, Inc., and she also has a small wooden cart that represents the Pizza Planet company, the same place where Andy from Toy Story orders pizza. Now, isn't it a little strange that a witch from medieval times knows what monsters are and knows about Pizza Planet? Of course not, because according to the great Pixar theory, she is Boo, who grew up and became a witch capable of traveling through time and space. She uses doors to teleport across dimensions, just like Boo's monsters did. And how did she get her powers? It's simple. Once she entered the monster world, she was infected with magic. The same magic that caused Mei Lee and Merida's mother to transform into giant animals. The same magic that brought the toys to life, and the same magic that brought the objects inside the witch's shop to life. And if you're not subscribed yet, you know what to do. Click and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Boo. There's a scene in Monsters, Inc. where Boo places a character from another movie into Sully's hand. Jessie. That's right, Jessie was in Boo's bedroom, and that could be because the doll was there helping another toy. Boo herself, or at least an older version of her, appears on Bonnie's first day of school. After all, the two of them went to daycare together, and they definitely studied at Sunnyside at the same time. Do you know who works at Sunnyside? Bonnie's mom, who was friends with Andy's mom. The two women recognize each other when they meet at the daycare's front desk. Pixar. That's why we're absolutely certain that nothing in Pixar is ever just a coincidence. They chose to make Jessie appear in Boo's bedroom, just like they chose to make Bonnie's mom and Riley's mom look so similar, and just like they made Emily's daughter look exactly like Mrs. Davis, who had known Bonnie from the very beginning. Do you think it's a coincidence that Lotso lived in a house next door to Carl Fredricksen's? Of course not. Otherwise, why would Ellie and Carl have sent Andy a postcard? And why would Pixar have hidden it? In other words, the girls weren't all wearing the same style of hair clip for no reason. The Pixar movies take place in the same universe, and that is a fact. And it's even more of a fact that staying on our channel guarantees plenty of fun. There's still a lot more for you to watch here. It's almost over, but until then, you can stay with us. There are 2 super fun videos waiting for you. Thanks, and see you next time.